speaking with Riccardo Canavari this morning from Radiopharm Theranostics. Riccardo, good morning.
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
Very good, Riccardo. You're back in Australia this morning since your last visit to Australia. How's the company been tracking towards its priorities?
Yes, of course. First of all, glad to be here. No, I'm going to visit Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and Sydney. So 4 cities in 5 days, but it's always a great experience. Yes, I came like late October, so is now 3 months of good progresses for the company. At the end of October, for example, we reported the scientific data phase 2 of our pivotal imaging trial in brain metastasis. At the end of December, FDA gave us IND approval to start an imaging trial in pancreatic cancer. And we are making progresses with our first therapeutic trial in patients with lung cancer that will be performed here in Australia. So a lot of that happened despite Christmas time, I would say.
Certainly has been a lot going on. Just firstly, Riccardo, as far as Pivolate, you mentioned the positive phase 2 data there in the imaging trial in brain metastases. Tell us a little bit more on what else has been happening.
Yeah, we do have a 3-step approach. The first step is to have multiple conversation and advisory board with the key opinion leader, with the expert around the world to understand where they are going to position Pivolate across other opportunity or technology they do have. We performed this advisory board at the end of January. Was a sort of peer review of Pivolate, and I'm pleased to share that there is a clear unmet medical need. The current technology like MRI is very useful in detecting brain metastasis, but in some situation after external beam radiation or to better monitor the metastasis and the effect of the therapy, a new technology like PET is absolutely needed. So overall, the message was energizing for us, was confirming that there is opportunity to go to the next step. And the other two projects that we are following are one on the commercial side. We engage a company externally, a consultancy company very well known in the radiopharmaceutical space, to receive an independent evaluation of what is going to be the potential of Pivolate in terms of, yearly peak sales and the speed of adoption. In probably 6 to 7 weeks from now, we will have this report. So we combine science from one side, commercial potential to the other, and now we are preparing and finalizing the clinical protocol that will go to FDA for their feedback.
Tell me a little bit more as far as the planned imaging trial in pancreatic cancer.
This is our second priorities, is our integrin targeting alpha beta 6. We received very good news. We received the FDA IND approval the last week of December. Now, having this approval in mind, we are finalizing the supply chain between the radiopharmacy and the hospital. We already have our clinical center identified in New York City. We already have the radiopharmacy identified to transport the products, and we are looking forward to start with the first patient first visit around April, when all the logistics are solved. We expect this trial to have a very fast enrollment. We are talking about 9 patients, and from the first patient to the last one, we believe that it will not take more than 3 or 4 months. So we will have results very soon, for sure within 2023 of this phase 1 trial in pancreatic cancer.
And Riccardo, your third priority, the therapeutic trial in patients with non-small cell cancer, that's happening in Australia.
That's absolutely correct. So as you know from also our company name, Radiopharm Theranostics, we believe in the value of imaging to really highlight like a torch where the tumor is, the small metastasis, so that physician can take better decision on the next step. But at the end of the day, we really like to have a therapeutic pipeline. And these products that we call RAD 204 is our first therapeutic candidate. Is a single domain monoclonal antibody. It is designed to go selectively to the cancer cell that express PD-L1 in non-small cell lung cancer. We do have an agreement with GenesisCare. We have already selected multiple sites to perform this trial. We need some final data from a preclinical biodistribution study, and then we are ready to go. We do expect to start with the first patient after we receive ethics committee approval between April and May of this year. So exciting to have our first therapeutic, and we want this to happen in Australia.
And Ricardo, the last time you and I spoke, it was soon after you announced the strategic joint venture with MD Anderson. Has there been much in the way of development since then?
This is a more long-term or mid-term project. You know, the molecule that are within MD Anderson IP are more early stage, but we use those 6 months really to set up the governance and to start taking some important decision together. Of the 4 targets that are proprietary of MD Anderson, we decided what type of molecule are the right one. We decided what indication to pursue, and we are starting to plan for the CMC and to start preclinical work. I have to say that it's amazing working with such enthusiastic and highly skilled team. So I'm sure that in the next 6 to 9 months, we will start to see some very exciting preliminary activity coming from that joint venture.
Very good. Ricardo, just a final word from you this morning in terms of upcoming news flow. What can we expect to hear?
Yes, well, just a few minutes ago, we released our intention to be dual listed on the Nasdaq, and this is important for us. It's an important step because we do believe of the centrality of Australia in our strategy, but also we like to be exposed to more US specific biotech funds, and that are mainly in the larger market in the world. So we plan to continue to work in parallel with Australia and potentially expand our presence of shareholder in US. So it's a very important project, comes with more visibility, also more responsibility as always, but we are excited, and probably we will be listed in about 4 to 6 weeks. On the other side, what matters more than the share price, that of course is very important, is the milestone, the clinical milestone that we can deliver, because the share price will be the reflection of that. And the team is fully focused on advancing those 3 priorities, but also we continue to work with the rest of our portfolio on the preclinical side to be sure that in some time from now, we really have more and more opportunity to image or treat patients living with oncological disease.
Good to speak this morning. Ricardo, thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Andrew, and hope to see you soon in my next trip.